Hello, good people, and welcome back. Now, if traditional giants like Magnus Carlsen and Jose Raul Capablanca have the extraordinary ability of making winning in chess look so simple, then Bobby Fischer, along with other greats like Mikhail Tal and Garry Kasparov, are simply virtuosos in creating chaos in the chessboard. In this game, Bobby's opponent creates a small error and forgoes development, and Bobby Fischer punches him beautifully. It's quite instructive, actually. Let's boost that ELO. Let's get it.
Round 1. Fight!
So this game took place in Skopje, Yugoslavia in 1967. Bobby Fischer plays as white, and black is played by Peter Deli, who's about to be turned into Deli. Yes, here for the dad jokes. Oh, please leave a like and sub. You have my gratitude. Let's get started. So Fischer starts with e4. Best by test, c5 by the opponent, to Sicilian defense, knight to f3, d6, d4, c takes d, knight takes d4, knight to f6, standard stuff, developing and attacking e4. You get knight to c3, knight to c6, and here bishop to c4. The Sozin attack, e6 by the opponent, bishop to b3. Now we have e6. Fischer plays f4, controlling the center there multiple times, and you know it's going to be a bloody game with a lot of action when Fischer pushes on f4 immediately before casting. We have queen to a5, trying to develop the queen on the 5th rank, but also pinning there with this idea. So Fischer castles. And here, knight takes on d4. Queen takes on d4, and you'll notice that the king and the queen are in the same diagonal. And that's very tempting because moves like d5 forgoes development, does threaten this idea, but it causes a delay, and I'll explain why. It's because these two things, the minor piece and the rook, are not developed, and the king is still in the middle. So the most diligent way to play this as black is bishop to e7, bishop to e3, castle king, h3, preventing this shenanigans, and queen to c7, because there's really no opportunity here in the 5th rank. a4, trying to lock in, not locking in mentally, but locking into the dark squares. So after bishop to a5, and then with ideas there, the game continues. But after queen takes on d4, it was just so tempting for the opponent, and he played d5. Question mark is a bit of a mistake. Fischer will not fall for such a Patzer move, and just consolidates with bishop to e3. It would be nice if there was no bishop, right? So a candidate move is just knight to g4, just forcing white to, you can't back up now because of this idea, to relinquish the bishop, and hence king moves to h1 and after takes and takes. It does become tricky. It's now a technical game because Fischer lightly calculated this line. Bishop to c5 isn't particularly a good move, and we'll look at why. Bishop to c5 no longer protects g7, so queen to g3. And the thing is, all your forces are in this quadrant. I can draw pieces there. So after castle king, you have f5 with the threat of f6. Takes f6, g6, knight 2. A lot easier to play this as white. In fact, doing this to Fischer almost secures a victory and just an extremely difficult and futile defense. But after bishop to e3, what does the opponent do? Well, he plays knight takes on e4, and we can even clarify or quantify that as a blunder, but it's a mistake. So after takes and takes, what does Fischer do here? Knowing that the rooks are not connected and the king is in the middle of the board, the answer is 3, 2, and 1. Fischer plays the super instructive f5. Prying this open, guys. When you see an avenue for attack, you punish the lack of development. And here, Black is asked to defend astutely, and queen to c7 now backing up. After takes, shutting down any open doors there, and simply, after f6, try to develop and survive, but this is actually extremely bad for white. After f5, the opponent panics and realizes all the tactics that were supposed to be for patzers does not work and plays queen to b4. And here comes a train crashing down on the opponent, because after f takes on e6 with the tempo if you take, bishop takes with the tempo again if you take the queen, and after takes, notice how the king is definitely stranded in the middle. But there is a forced tactic here to make sure the king stays stranded in the middle of the board. And can you find that tactic, guys? The answer is 3, 2, and 1. White uncorks. Rook takes on f8. Queen takes on f8. And here is a set of finishing blows that just demoralizes the opponent, because after queen to a4, the opponent resigned. And the opponent resigned because the king can't go here, you have rook to f1. The king can't go to a dark square because you have bishop 2. c5. So, b5. Queen takes on e4, targeting that. I want to point out that this rook is currently acting as a pawn. So, you don't take. Instead, queen to c6. And now you pin. Queen to e7. And now bishop 2. b6. And that is all sorts of... It's a great move. It's not brilliant, but it's one of those positional moves that just make sure that your opponent cannot breathe. If you castle here, then simply takes. e5, check. Again, you have to go down. And now takes with the queen. And you're up material again and with the advantage. That's why after queen to a4, the opponent resigned. That's so simple looking, but always develop your pieces. And if you find an avenue to restrict development, play like Bobby Fischer, or just find the forcing moves. I hope you guys learned something from that. I know I did. I'll see you guys later. Double peace.